Hi, I'm Congressman Eric Swalwell. I worked a lot of odd jobs as a kid and teenager. I worked at the mall, I sanded window frames after school, I worked as a baseball umpire, and if I wasn't playing soccer, I was refereeing. But the job that I enjoyed the most was being a paperboy. I started when I was 9 years old. I remember sitting on my porch, rolling up and rubber banding newspapers, and I'd always get in trouble because my mom would tell me, those papers, they're not going to deliver themselves. But I like to read the paper. And to me, reading the paper meant I was learning about what was going on in my community. And so I would sit there on the porch, read the paper, and inform myself. As a prosecutor and a city councilman, I always saw that our local press was a huge asset. It was the key to staying informed as a community. As a congressman, I feel the same way. But as the United Nations Press Freedom Day approaches on May 3rd, I'm worried that our free press, a mainstay of our democracy, is under attack. President Trump's campaign and administration have created a toxic atmosphere. It's not just his constant crying of fake news, we hear it all the time. It's his casting of journalists and news outlets as anti-American targets. It's his encouraging attacks on reporters and pretending that he didn't mean it. Well, no American president should ever call a national media outlet the enemy of the American people, or accuse the news media of trying to take away our history and our heritage, or question a journalist's patriotism by saying, I really don't think that they like this country. This kind of rhetoric from the highest office in the land has dire consequences. President Trump says it time after time. 1 year ago, the international organization Reporters Without Borders lowered the United States ranking in the annual World Press Freedom Index. Why? Because of President Trump's rhetoric. This backsliding is concerning. As the United States, we must uphold the freedom of the press. We can't be like other countries where violence against journalists is common. There are 44 physical attacks, 44 attacks throughout the United States in 2017. That's unacceptable. That's why in February of this year, I introduced the Journalist Protection Act. It'll make it a federal crime to intentionally hurt or try to hurt a journalist while they're doing their jobs, or as a means of keeping them from doing that job. This bill is a clear statement that one of our most important federal rights will receive federal protection in every corner of our country. It demonstrates to would-be wrongdoers that we will not tolerate attacks on journalists, and it gives federal law enforcement and federal prosecutors an option in cases where state and local law enforcement just don't care or have the courage to act. It's sad that we must make this statement or counteract the violent vitriol spewed by our own president, but we must act. Most Americans know that our freedoms, they rely on an informed populace. Our founding fathers, they knew it best. As Thomas Jefferson wrote in 1823, the only security of all is in a free press. Whether we appreciate the news or not, we must never let violence interfere with it. That is the calling card of a dictatorship. Let's work together to punish violent perpetrators and protect our dear free press.